Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'ma detail Southside Compton Crip, Keefe D. Keefe D will be born Dwayne Keefe Davis on June 14th, 1963. Keefe D will grow up in Compton, and with his family, they will be one of the early black families living in Compton in the early 60s. At a point, Compton was predominantly white and had a few black families. So the black families living in Compton, they would experience a lot of racism. But with more and more black families deciding to move to Compton, this created white flight and made the white community move to faraway areas to escape living with black people. The culture of Compton would change, and by the 70s, Compton would be known for its black community. Keefe D would grow up in a two-parent home and grow up with 11 other siblings. Keefe D's family would live in what became known as the Southside Compton Crip's hood, and by the age of 12, Keefe D would become a member of that area. Growing up, Keefe D was heavily involved in sports and even grew up playing on the same sports teams as Suge Knight. But with him getting into the street life, he wanted to make fast money, and this led to him selling drugs. While he was in high school, he became a drug dealer, and this would become his future career. In his young drug dealing career, Keefe D would have many run-ins with the law, and this would lead to him by 20 years old being sentenced to 4 years in prison. After getting out of prison, Keefe D went right back to the streets and dove deeper into drug dealing. This made him more money than he ever did before, with getting a new connect who supplied more drugs. Selling drugs would bring in so much money that Keefe D started opening businesses, like a car and audio shop, which helped him gain many connections to the industry. Many musical artists wanted to use his cars for videos, and this would help Keefe D be introduced to P. Diddy, who Keefe D provided a car for Diddy to use in an Usher video, helping create a relationship between Keefe D and Diddy later on. Diddy had a close relationship with a drug dealer and a gangster named Von Zip, which Keefe D also had a relationship. Knowing mutual people, that's how they gained the relationship. Diddy and Suge Knight would later develop a rivalry off various reasons, and with Suge having so many gangsters on payroll in LA, Diddy would have a fear in being in LA and needed protection. So with knowing a Keefe D already, and knowing that his gang, the Southside Compton Crips, and Suge being affiliated with their rivals, the Pirus, Diddy knew to connect with Keefe D. The beef between Diddy and Suge Knight would get deeper. With Suge signing Tupac to Death Row Records, Tupac was already beefing with Diddy and his Bad Boy Records' biggest artist, Biggie. So this would make tensions higher, and it would boil over at a award show in LA. The Bad Boy side and the Death Row Records side would run into each other, and guns would come out, but nobody would be shot. Outside of the music industry, it would be a lot going on in the Compton streets. Keefe D's nephew, Baby Lane, was a young and well-respected Southside Compton Crip, known for putting in work. Baby Lane and his crew would get into it with a Piru, who was affiliated with Suge and Death Row Records. And this would lead to a fight, with many people saying the Piru got his Death Row chain snatched, and many people saying that was false. But either way, this will lead to a lot of violence. This will all lead to September 7, 1996. Keefe D and the Southside Crips, including Baby Lane, will go to a Mike Tyson fight at the MGM in Las Vegas. Death Row Records will also be deep at the fight, and Baby Lane would get spotted in the lobby alone and be jumped. Rapper Tupac would throw the first punch at Baby Lane. The Southside Crips knew they had to get revenge, so the Southside Crips met up and planned to shoot any Pirus that they could. They would even go to Club 662, a club owned by Suge Knight. This will later lead to Keefe D, along with 3 other people in the car, including Baby Lane. The Southside spotted Tupac and Suge Knight in the car, so they began shooting, skinning Suge in the head, and killing Tupac. Southsides were involved in killing one of the biggest rap artists and shooting his CEO, so this would turn the streets upside down in Compton. With the Piru seeking revenge, this would lead to back and forth shootings. People would pin Baby Lane to doing the shooting, and this would lead to several crackdowns on the Southsides. This led to many being arrested, but nobody would be pinned to the Tupac murder, and Baby Lane would die by 1998. 6 months after Tupac's death, Biggie would die, and these deaths will all be pinned between the Southside Crips and Bad Boy Records and the Pirus and Death Row Records. Keefe D would later be in jail after being involved in a gang sweep, and he would lose his grandma and his nephew Baby Lane behind bars. He would do almost 6 years. Upon getting released, it would be an attempt on Keefe D's life, but he wouldn't be shot, and he would go back to prison for a violation. Over the years, many investigations occurred in the Tupac murders and the Biggie murders, where everyone in the car that killed Tupac dead but Keefe D, Greg Caden, An officer involved in the investigations will offer Keefe D a deal. Keefe D was supposed to tell him anything to help the case and he would get immunity, but he was secretly recorded. 2015, Greg Caden would tell his story in a documentary called Murder Rap. Keefe D will be portrayed in a documentary. And in 2019, Keefe D was also portrayed in another doc called Unsolved. 2019, Keefe D will start doing several interviews, telling his own side of the story on various platforms. And over the last few years, he has been capitalizing off the situation and even made a book called Compton Street Legend. With all the talking that he was doing, it would gain unwanted attention and get police back on his heels. And many people would say he would start to get investigated off this. And in an interview with the Art of Dialogue, he would discuss the potential of being arrested.
Oh man, that you might be getting arrested for the murder of Tupac. Any last words?
Dude, I'm a man, understand through it all, dog. Whatever the Lord got to offer me, I'm gonna come through it, you know what I'm saying? I'm staying tall through it all, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm staying through it all. The Lord got me, homie. God got me, homie. That's why I'm still here and everything, dude. You know, the Lord got me. And I'm not worried about that or nothing like that. What I'm gonna do. If they do come arrest me, all I'm gonna do is just try to do the best. Hire me some good attorneys and try to get up.
September 29th, 2023, Keefe D was taken into custody by the Las Vegas police in a connection with the murder of Tupac. Keefe D, who is now 60, is now facing life in prison.
Nearly 3 decades, an arrest has been made in the murder of rap icon Tupac Shakur. One of the last living witnesses in the drive-by shooting is now being charged with murder. KKL News reporter Lauren Posen is live in the newsroom now with more on why he's just now facing charges, Lauren.
Well, Pat, you know, this is the 2-page indictment. I've been going through it, and Dwayne Davis isn't accused of pulling the trigger, but he is accused of orchestrating the whole plan to do it. And get this, investigators say the shot caller's own words led police right to his door. On Friday, police announced a major break in the cold case.
We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, a.k.a. Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Tupac was killed in a drive-by shooting in Vegas in 1996, plotted the killing and handed the gun to the shooter.
It's about time. It was a long time in making.
Kathy Scott worked as a reporter for the Las Vegas Sun when the killing happened and wrote a book about Tupac's murder. She contends police always knew who was involved but took no action, hoping the unsolved case would simply be forgotten. In 2018, new evidence surfaced, including a confession during an interview with producer and filmmaker Mike Dorsey on national TV.
For him to go on television and say that he did this, it was really surprised us. Detectives came out to my house here and interviewed me after that, and from then on it was just anything they needed, help getting a hold of witnesses.
And in 2019, Davis's tell-all memoir, he even admitted to handing the gun to the shooter. Nearly 3-decade hunt for the rapper's killer, the DA is making a promise.
Justice will be served.
This goes to show you, sometimes letting the past be the past and not running your mouth is best.
Like damn, like damn, I like damn, I like damn.
This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.